Hello, Infotech. Mrs. Pancoke here. We are going to be working on Lesson 7, Formatting Worksheets. This lesson begins on page 97. And the skills we're going to be learning today are working with rows and columns using themes, inserting headers and footers into our workbook, and preparing a document for printing. All right, so we're going to be working with columns and rows, specifically insert and delete rows and columns. So we're going to open up our workbook out of our data files, go to your lesson 7, and we're going to use O7 Messenger row column. Okay, always enable your editing. All right. So step 2 on page 98 says to click on row 14. So the row heading is this number 14. When you click on it, it will select the entire row. And on the Home tab in the Cells group, we're going to click the Insert button arrow and select Insert Sheet Rows. So as shown in figure 7-2, a new blank row appears as row 14. Okay. Step 4, it says to insert several rows at once. So we're going to click on the row 25 heading, which is right here. And we're going to press and hold the control key and click on rows 34 and I'm going to scroll down here and 43. So I want to select all 3 of these at one time. And it says to right click any of the selected rows. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose the Insert option from the shortcut menu. And when I do that, blank rows appear above the selected rows so that the data for each messenger is separated by a blank row. Okay. So as you can see, what you want to see is like Guy, all together, Bill, all together, then Jenny, and then Stuart, which it worked out like that. It says to click column D heading to select the entire column. This column contains the delivery zone. On the Home tab in the Cells group, we're going to click the Delete button arrow, and we're going to choose Delete Sheet Columns. The zone column disappears. Okay. It says to right click row 3 heading, and we're going to click the Insert. Okay. In cell A3, we're going to type Zone 1. Okay. And we're going to select, step 8 says to select A3 through I3. And on the Home tab in the alignment groups, we're going to click Merge and Center button. The Zone 1 text is centered across the entire data column. So we deleted that column because it was just saying Zone 1, Zone 1, Zone 1. Instead, we'll just make it a subheading here on our document. Okay, so we're going to save the workbook in your Excel Lesson 7 folder. File, Save As. Let's go to our folder here. Gonna back up a little bit. And, let's see. Let's go to my Infotech folder. I'm having some trouble here finding my folders. Oh, right here. Okay, let's make it a new folder and we're going to name it Lesson 7. Okay, and I want to add the word solution at the end. We're going to save. Okay. The column heading or row heading is identified as a letter or number. You select the entire column or row by clicking its heading. Okay, other thing down here it talks about is boundary. Is the line between rows and columns. So the boundary is the line between rows and columns. Okay, so next we're going to double click the boundary to the right of column G. That would be right here. Okay, we should see a double-sided arrow. I'm going to double click and it will make my column a little bit wider. Okay, it says step 2 says to click anywhere in column H. And on the Home tab in the Cells group, we're going to click the Format button arrow and we're going to choose Column Width. In the dialog box, and then we're going to type 16. And we're going to hit OK or hit Enter. And it says to click and hold the boundary under the row 3 heading and drag the line up to decrease the height of row 3 to 18. So I'm going to move it up until the height says 18 and let go. Notice that a screen tip appears, so when I moved it, I saw that screen tip that helped me to move the line to the correct spot. Next, we're going to select row 2. And on the Home tab in the Cells group, we're going to click the Format button and we're going to select Auto Fit Row Height. Okay. When we do that, the row automatically gets adjusted to the appropriate size. With the row still selected, we're going to click the Format button again. And we're going to choose row height, and in the box we want to make sure it says 18.75. Go ahead and click OK, and we're just going to hit save for this workbook. We don't need to rename it. So in our reading here it talks about row height, which is the top to bottom measurement of a row. It's measured in points, and column width is the left to right measurement of a column. We also talks about white space is the empty space of a document in which no content appears. So we're going to be working with these next. So on page 101, step by step, hide or unhide a row or column. Next it says to select columns D and E. So I just selected the heading and drag it across. The columns for date and time are selected. It says to click the column D or E heading, and we're going to select right click and select hide. The date and time columns are hidden from view and a green line appears indicating hidden content as shown in figure 5-7. So you should see the green line. It says to click in any cell, the green line disappears. And the boundary between C and F is a double vertical line. So you should see a double vertical line between C and F, which indicates hidden columns. Next, we're going to select row 3 on step 4. And on the Home tab in the Cells group, we're going to click the Format down arrow, and we're going to point to hide and unhide. And then we're going to select hide rows. Okay, row 3 is now hidden. It says to select rows 2 and 4. Let's see. Okay, so, oh gosh, sorry. So select rows 2 and 4, and we're going to right click the selection, and we're going to click unhide. Okay, and then row 3 should appear back in our text. Go ahead and save the workbook. Okay, we're going to pause and leave the same workbook open to use in the next exercise. Next, we're going to transpose rows or columns. So transposing a row or column causes your cell data to change orientation. Row data will become column data, and column data will become row data. Okay, so we're going to click on the Sheet 2 tab to change our sheet, and we're going to select rows 2 through 7. I'm selecting all of these rows, and I'm going to press Control C to copy the data to the clipboard. A green marquee border appears, and we're going to click in cell A10. And on the Home tab in the clipboard group, we're going to click the Paste button arrow and select Paste Specials. Oh, right here. Alrighty. And the Paste dialog box opens, and we're going to click on the Transpose box, which is right here. And then click OK. Alright, so what happened was it took our data, and our columns now became our rows, and our rows became our column. Okay, so your document should look similar to the picture on figure 7-7. It says to click the Sheet 1 tab to return to the main worksheet, and we're going to save the workbook and then close the file, leaving Excel open. Alright, next it says to open the 07 messenger theme. You can click open. I'm going to go down to my folder, and I'm going to open up 07 messenger theme. We're going to click enable editing, slide this over, and with sheet 1 active, we are going to click cell A3. Okay, and oh sorry, so we're changing the theme, document themes, and we're going to change some effects. So with sheet 3 active, click in cell A3, and on the Home tab in the Styles group, we're going to click the Cell Styles drop down arrow, and we're going to choose 20% accent 4, which is this purple color. Alright. A light purple background is applied to the cell range, the font size is reduced, and the font color changes to black. It says to click the page layout tab, and the themes group is over here on the far left hand side. We're going to click the themes button arrow, and there are several built-in themes to choose from. If you move over the top, it'll change to show you in the background what it will look like. We're going to choose the one that is called Facet, which is the second choice, I guess, for me. I don't know if it's the same for you. Go ahead and click on Facet. Okay, so you just change the default document theme to Facet theme. The font and subheadings and general data change from Calibri to Trebuchet MS, and the background in rows 2 and 3 change to different colors. Alright, I'm down to page 104, step 6. We're going to click the Sheet 2 tab to notice that the font changed on this sheet as well. Click on Sheet 1 to return, and it says that we're going to click the Home tab, and then in the Styles group, we're going to click the Cell Styles drop down arrow. Notice that the color scheme for the various groups has changed as well because we changed the theme. We're going to save this workbook as 07 theme theme solution. So file, save as, go to your lesson 7 folder. So I need to go to my Infotech, Excel, lesson 7. And I'm going to save it as 07 messenger solution. Okay. And then it tells me to close the file. So you can go to File, Close if you'd like. I'm going to go back to my file manager here, and next we're going to be working with the grid lines. So worksheet grid lines are the lines that display around a worksheet cell. Row headings and column headings can be used to enhance the worksheet's appearance. So we're going to choose next 07 Messenger Appearance. And we're going to click the Page Layout tab. We'll enable your editing. Okay. Page Layout tab, Step 2, page 104. It says to click the Grid Lines View checkbox. So when you do that, all of those grid lines disappear. Okay, check the View Grid Lines again to restore the viewable grid lines, and then it says to check the Print Grid Lines checkbox. This action will force grid lines to appear in your printed worksheet. It says to click the dialog box launcher in the Sheet Options group right here. To open the Page Setup dialog box. On the Sheet tab, notice that the Grid Lines checkbox is checked. Click the Print Preview button. Okay. Grid lines appear in the preview also, so you should see the grid lines. Okay. It says in the upper left-hand corner of the print window, click the Return to Document arrow, and it tells us to save this document. So we're going to save as, go to your Lesson 7 folder, 07 Messenger Appearance Solution. Okay. And you know what? I need to fix this a little bit here. Let's go. I noticed that I accidentally did not put that in my Lesson 7 folder. But you should have 3 documents right now in this folder. It says that you can close this file, so I'm going to close out of it. Next, we're going to insert headers and footers. So a header is a line of text that appears at the top of each page of a printed worksheet, and a footer is a line of text that appears at the bottom of each page on a printed worksheet. So I'm going to open up, go back here, go to my data files, open up Lesson 7 Header Footer, Messenger Header Footer. I always enable the content. Alrighty. Oh, here we are. And it tells me to click in cell A1. And we're going to click on the View tab. And then in the workbook views, we're going to change to Page Layout View. Now, the only way to view the header is to be in this Page Layout View. Okay, if you're in the normal view, you won't see the header. So it says to click the Center Header text box, and there's 3 header boxes. We're going to click in the center one. And in the header, footer, elements, let's see. So next it says to click the Header Footer Design Tools tab. And in the Header Footers Elements group, we're going to click Sheet Name. Okay. The code and tab appears in the text box. It says to click in the left header text box, which is right here, and you're going to type your name. Okay, and then in the navigation group, we're going to click on the Go to Footer button. It says to click in the left footer text box, and in the header footer group, click the Footer button, and then click the option in the list that begins with Confidential. Okay, so we're going to choose Centennial Public School Confidential right here. So I don't see another one that just says Confidential. Okay. Alrighty. So ours will say Centennial Public School Confidential and then the date, and then it should have the page number also. Alright, it says to save this workbook as 07 Messenger Header Footer Solution. Save as. Go to your lesson 7, type solution at the end, and save. Okay, and then you can go ahead and close this file. Next, we're going to be preparing a document for printing, repeating row and column print titles. So you need to open up our 07 Messenger print. All right, always enable the content. I'm going to slide it back over here. Okay, it says to ensure that sheet 1 is active and in normal view. Okay, so make sure view, it says normal. It says to click the page layout tab, and then in the page setup group, we're going to click the print titles button. Okay, and the page setup dialog box opens to the sheet tab. It says to type A1 through I-54 in the print area text box. This is the range of all data on sheet 1 to be printed. It says in the rows to repeat at the top text box, we're going to type 1 through 4. Okay, so it's the 1:4 as shown in figure 7-2. This will repeat the first 4 rows of the worksheet, which includes the column headings on every page. Okay, it says to click the print preview button, and the print preview window appears at the click the right arrow at the bottom of the screen to advance to the second page. Okay, and the first 4 rows at the top sheet appear on the second page. So you should see these 4 rows on both pages. Okay, it says to click the Return to Document button, and we're going to save this as 07 Messenger Print Solution in your Lesson 7 folder. Alright, save. Next, we're going to be adding and moving a page break. So a page break is a divider that breaks a worksheet into separate pages for printing. Excel inserts automatic vertical page breaks shown as a broken line based on the paper size, margin setting, and scaling options. So Excel provides a page break preview window in which you can quickly adjust automatic page breaks to achieve a more desirable printed document. So printing is always a little tricky in Excel because sometimes your data is too big for a piece of printer paper. So we have to sometimes change that. We're going to click the View tab, and then in the Workbook Views group, we're going to change to Page Break Preview. Okay. It says to scroll down to view the entire print area. Notice that a dashed blue line appears after row 47. The dashed line is an automatic page break inserted by Excel. It says to click and hold the horizontal automatic page break and drag it upward so it is now just below row 46. So I'm going to click on this and I'm just going to drag it just below row 46. The automatic page break is now a manual page break represented by a solid blue line. On the View tab in the Workbook Views, we're going to click on Normal and we're going to save this workbook. Go ahead and hit Save. It says to pause and leave the workbook open to use in the next exercise. Next step is setting the margins, and we're going to ensure that sheet 1 is active and we're in normal view. It says to click the Page Layout tab, and then in the Page Setup group, we're going to click the Margins button. And we're going to click on Custom Margins at the bottom of the list to open up the Page Setup dialog box, and it will set to the Margins tab. Sorry. It says to change the left and right margins to 1.4. I like to type it in, so I'm going to change this to 1.4. This will make the margins wider than normal. It says to check the center on page horizontal. The content in your worksheet will print centered between the left and the right edges of the page. Click the Print Preview button, and you can see that instead of being left aligned, it looks a little nicer when this document is center aligned. Okay. We're going to click the Return to Document button, and we're going to click the Save button. Doesn't say to change the name. Next, we're going to be changing our document's orientation. So just like in Word, orientation is similar. You can change the orientation of a worksheet, which is the position of the content, so that the printer, it either prints vertically or horizontally on a page. Ensure that sheet 1 is active and in normal view. Okay. And on the Page Layout tab in the Page Setup group, we're going to click the Orientation button and we're going to choose the Landscape. It says to click the File tab and then click Print. Okay. Click through the pages to see the worksheet in Landscape Orientation. So when it's wider like this, not as much of our document fits, so we actually end up having 3 pages. Okay, we're going to click the Return to Document button, and we're going to change our orientation back to Portrait, and we're going to click the Save button. Next, we're going to be using the scaling a worksheet to fit on a printed page. Scaling refers to shrinking or stretching printed output to a percentage of its actual size. So it says to get ready, use the same workbook, ensure that sheet 1 is active and we're in normal view, which we are. And it says on the Page Layout tab in the Setup group, we're going to click the Orientation button and verify that Portrait is selected. In the Scale to Fit group, which is right here, we're going to click the Height arrow and we're going to choose 1 page. The scale of the worksheet is reduced so that all rows fit on the same page. It says to click the File tab and we're going to click the Print. And notice that all rows appear on the page and that the content is smaller than it was previously. Okay, So we're going to click the Save button, and it says to click the Close to close the file. And voila, you guys are done with Lesson 7. Go on and do the knowledge assessment and the 2 projects on page 114.